Hi folks, welcome back to another video. You might have noticed it's a little bit of a blustery one again this week. We seem to be plagued at the moment by a bit of wind that's going around, and it's interesting. It's going to be another challenging video, I think. Tonight I've come out to Gwithian. I'm currently on Gwithian Towers. I think you can probably see the lighthouse up there behind me, over at Godrevy. So my plan is to make my way down to the beach and see what beach we've got available to us. High tide was at about 20 to 5 this evening. The time now is about 8:15, so it's had a bit of a while to start going out. So I want to venture down to the beach, have a little look and see what there is. We've got some beautiful light though. Look at that, some beautiful hazy light there behind me. The sky again is looking quite clear. In fact, there may even be a bank of cloud on that horizon. I can't be 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure if I come around for you, there we go, over towards St Ives, you see there's some cloud there over the top of the bay. So potentially there is going to be a little bit of cloud around. We will see what we get. So we'll venture down to the beach. We'll have a look, see how much beach there is available to work with, and hopefully we've got something to work with. And then from there, I shall decide exactly what I'm going to do. I don't really have a plan. I've just turned up, I've just rocked up with the camera gear and gone, let's shoot a video. So let's see how this pans out. So we made it down to the beach, and as you'll have seen from that little bit of video I shot a moment ago, the place is virtually empty. It's well, just the way I like it, to be perfectly honest between you and I can't actually believe how empty it is. I mean, it isn't a great sunbathing evening, I suppose, and with the receding tide, that's not potentially ideal for swimming. You really want an incoming tide, I suppose, but yeah, absolutely incredible. I can't believe how quiet it is down here. It's just absolutely nuts, but that's brilliant. That works really well for us. My first challenge is just to cross this little stream. There we go, I made it. Look at that, no disasters. Get on. So what I'm going to do, those of you that are familiar with Gwithian Beach will know that generally it is just a vast expanse of sand that stretches all the way from Godrevy right across to Hale. It's about 3 miles of golden sand, that's how they advertise it. But part way along this beach, a little place down by the sheep's pool, there are some rocks on the beach which can be used as a composition. Now, part of what I want to do here this evening is to try and challenge myself to shoot some images that don't feature the lighthouse as the focal point. It is very, very easy to come down to Gwithian and Godrevy and to shoot the lighthouse because it's just there, and it is a great feature, and it's absolutely fantastic to shoot it, especially when you get the right light. But I think sometimes you've got to push yourself a little bit, you've got to challenge yourself, and so there are times when I come down here and instead of running across to Godrevy and shooting the lighthouse, I want to find something different. So that's what I'm looking for this evening. So we're going to make our way down the beach towards the sheep's pool area. We're going to find some rocks and I'm going to look at some compositions, and we'll see what we can take, we'll see what we can get. I mean, like I said, the light is absolutely gorgeous this evening. There does appear to be some cloud up there, so I'm hopeful that we're going to get a sunset, which was not on the cards. Look at the weather forecast earlier today. So yeah, let's go see what we can find. So I think I've got my first composition of the evening here. and I'm using, as you can see, these rocks. I just absolutely love the shapes in here, the rock pools that you've got, and the textures of the sand around the outside. Now, there are some footprints in the shot, which obviously are a bit of a distracting element, and not going to lie, I'm going to remove those in post-production in Photoshop, because they are a distracting element in the image, but they're quite well spaced apart. I can remove those quite easily. It'll look absolutely fine when it's done, but I really, really love some of the textures in there, and the shape of those pools of water, as they lead your eye down through the rocks there. Now, I'm hoping you can hear me, because that wind is blowing quite a bit still. I am trying to shield the mic a little bit, but so I've got this composition set up on the back of the camera, but obviously I'm letting you actually see the view there ahead of me, because it is quite difficult to talk to you at the same time as try and protect this microphone and be in the shot, and plus I don't want to get my footprints in the way either. So I've composed the shot on the back of the camera. I am at ISO 100 f11 15th of a second. I'm using my Nisi True Color polarizer again to take some of the glare off of that water, and I've got my Nisi 3-stop medium GND in there just to take some of the glare out of the sky. I've already grabbed that image, so I will pop that image up on the screen now for you to take a look at. Now, how gorgeous is this? Look at this for a view. Now, I'll turn you around in a second so you can see how I've set up. But I've set up in a portrait orientation for this shot. We have literally come about 50 yards from where we were a moment ago. Just to the right, over to our left now, is where I was standing a moment ago for that last image. And as I come across there, I've just seen this little stream of water coming across the beach, and these little rocks here that are leading us out beautifully towards that sunlight. See that sunlight out there? That's absolutely stunning. But I am beginning to be concerned that there is a bank of cloud out there after all. So we'll make the best we can of it all anyway. So let me just buzz you around a moment so I can talk to you whilst I'm taking this image. So I'm going to protect the microphone a little bit just to try and cut down on some of that breeze. As you can see, camera set up in a portrait orientation. Again, there's the 3-stop medium GND, and I've got the Nisi True Color polarizer. Now, in this instance, what I've done is I've actually adjusted the polarizer so that I'm allowing some of the glare on that water, because otherwise the image is a little bit too dark for my liking, and in actual fact I quite like some of the reflections. What I've got down here on the sort of right side of the image where the water flows out is a beautiful reflection of the sunlight on the sand, and from this height as well. I mean, the tripod that you're sat on, you're actually a little bit lower down when I'm showing you these things, but from this height I've got a beautiful line that leads into almost a point that points you straight at the rock in the foreground, and that rock is sat in a nice pool of water, and from that extra little bit of elevation I get that degree of separation between the small rock, the bigger rock in the pool, and then obviously you've got the other rock in the background. Like I said, I'm trying to shield this microphone so you can actually hear me, because I appreciate that otherwise the audio is pretty poor, and that wind is coming right in off the sea tonight. So I've composed this image. Settings wise, pretty much the same as I was on just now, ISO 100 f11 1/15th of a second. So I'm going to take that shot now, and that's looking pretty good. I've got some nice light from the sun just up there in the right corner. I've got the reflections of the water. I've got the 3 sets of rocks there, 2 of them sat in a pool of water, and I think that's looking really nice. So I'll pop that up on the screen for you. I did have a quick look when I was setting up the composition to see whether or not I could do this one in landscape as well as portrait, and it just doesn't work. So this is going to be portrait only, but it's looking really, really nice. So I'll pop that image up on the screen for you now. So would you believe, yet again, within just a few feet, and literally, we've probably come another 7,500 yards from where we were just now over to my left-hand side, and there's a lovely little cluster of rocks here, right here in the foreground, again set in a pool of water. And then what I've got is just off to the left-hand side is another couple of little rocks In the center of the image is another rock, and then off to the right we've got another rock. I'll buzz you around in a minute so you can see the composition. What I've also got is the sun directly in line with me right now, looking into that cloud. Now, there is definitely cloud out there, and I'm still not completely sure how deep it's going to be or whether we're going to get any light in there. Thanks to that wind, I'm not even sure how well you can hear me. So I've grabbed a couple of images. This time ISO 100, f11, 1/10 of a second. Again, true color, DC true color CPL, and I've got the 3-stop medium GND. Can you believe we're this far into a video and I've not taken a long exposure image yet? What is going on? Don't worry, I've got my eye on one. I've got my eye on one. Don't worry about that. So, I've already taken this image. I'm going to take another one anyway. That sun, I mean, I had some really nice sun rays just now, but I don't know if the image has worked particularly well. I'll have a good look at it when I get it home. It's hard to tell sometimes on the back of these little screens when you're looking at the image and reviewing it in the field. But it's looking really nice on the back of here. I'm really liking the composition with the positioning of the rocks and the position of that sun just there out behind the rock in the middle of the image. Let me buzz you around so you can have a look at the composition. So there we are. That's pretty much the composition that I'm working with on the back of the camera. Obviously, I've set this up slightly to the right of where I've got the camera, so it's a little bit different, but you get the basic idea. There's that cluster of rocks sat in that pool of water right there in the middle of the image, and then obviously out to the left-hand side you've got that other rock, the center rock, and then that one going out to the right. I think that works really nicely. I think that's quite a nice balanced image. Leads your eye into the image, leads you out towards that horizon. That sun is looking beautiful out there in amongst those clouds. I'm half tempted actually to stop here for a minute or two and wait and see what exactly that sun is going to do as it drops a little bit lower, because I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there are some beautiful sun rays in there just breaking through sections of the cloud. So I think I'm going to hang on here a minute or two and see what it does before I decide to go down the beach a bit further. Like I said, I do have my eye on a long exposure image, which is getting more and more possible now that tide is dropping. So let's see what that sun's going to do. We'll just hang on a minute. A little bit of patience in landscape photography, but this is what I mean. Look, you know, we're sort of, you're here on the beach. The easy thing to do is to go and shoot the lighthouse, but that is the easy thing to do. And sometimes you've just got to challenge yourself to find something different, something new, something unfamiliar in a familiar location. And that's really what the aim of this is today. So I think so far it's working quite nicely. Or, you know, make sure you explore your environment. Don't just do what you would normally do in a familiar place. You know, have a good look around, explore it, find something different, try something different. You know, you never know what you're going to come up with. But let's just wait and see what this is going to do. I'll be back with you in a moment. Right, that sun's getting a bit lower now. Let's go and grab that long exposure image while we can. So here we are. This is where I want to shoot that long exposure view. As you can see, that sun now is quite low to the horizon. I've got the camera set up. The camera is currently shooting a long exposure for me. So what I've done is I've got my true color CPL in there. I've got my 3-stop medium graduated neutral density filter in there, and I've added my 6-stop neutral density filter so that I can bring that exposure time up to approximately 30 seconds. So I've got a 30-second exposure going on. We're at f11 and the ISO is at 50 to get it as low as possible. Now, that image has completed and it's looking really, really nice. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get myself in a position here where you can see that shadow of the rock there on the wet sand. I wanted to get that as well as that sun in position just behind that rock. And as you can see, that sun is about to dip into some clouds. So I'm just going to grab another shot a moment. Lots of lovely movement out there this evening. That wind's an absolute bugger. That wind is an absolute bugger. At least this time, unlike that at Cape Cornwall, you haven't been blown over on the floor. Well, not yet anyway. So hopefully that won't happen. hopefully you can still hear me, because I've got my back now to the wind that's coming in to try and protect the microphone, really. And I've just realised the moon is coming up over there, the other side of the Towers. It's very, very faint at the moment through the cloud, but the moon is definitely coming up. So we are about 10 minutes now from sunset itself, and we've got another image that's looking really, really nice. I'm really pleased with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recompose this and see if I can do it as a portrait shot, and when I've done that, I'll pop those images up on the screen for you to have a look at. Well, as you can see, quite disappointingly, that light has not really developed. So sunset was about 10 minutes ago, and that colour in the sky there is pretty much all we have. That moon is certainly coming up now. You'd have seen that in the video just a minute ago. I'm not really sure I'm going to get much more out of this now, so I think I may have to consider that it's time to pack up for the evening. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed this little wander down on Gwithian Beach. I think the last time I actually did a video here was back in the winter. I think it was my second ever video. So if you wanted to see that, you just go back through my videos, and it'll be in there. Don't forget, if you've enjoyed the video, please do smash a like on the video, and do consider subscribing to my channel. Plenty more stuff to come, plenty more ideas. Just waiting for the right weather conditions, really. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, please, I really do appreciate the support. Get in the comments. Let me know what you think of the video. Let me know as well what kind of stuff would you guys actually like to see. Do you want to see more long exposure stuff? Do you want to see tutorials? Do you want to see tips videos, woodland videos, seascapes? Let me know. Let me know in the comments what it is you'd really like to see. Doesn't have to be a specific location. Just give me an idea of something you'd really like me to see me do. But like I said, that light, as you can see, that light really is gone. There is some nice movement in the clouds. There's some nice cloud coming overhead, but without that light, I don't think it's really going to make much of a difference. So I think it's time for me to pack up and go home. But once again, thank you very much for tuning in. Again, please do like and subscribe, and I'll see you all again soon.